So hi there, good evening. I hope you're all doing well. I want to give you a little update about what I call life in the fast lane. I'm reminded of that great 80s thing where, they go like, the future's so bright I gotta wear shades. So there are a few things come to mind that I want to share, and one of them is that, excuse me one second, something extremely relaxing about smoking a good cigar. So one thing is that I'm sure you see these posts on Facebook, for those of you who are on Facebook, where they talk, or it's Insta, where they talk about how wolves, wolves who are, kind of blamed and shamed as being such dangerous, aggressive creatures, yada, yada, yada. Well, I think human beings are far more dangerous and aggressive, you ask me. And secondly, when you look at how wolves operate, you realize that they're highly civilized and they have high social intelligence, or they're very cohesive and very smart. So the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm very optimistic about the fact that despite the fact that we're in horrible times, there's great unrest and basically Europe is completely bankrupt as we speak, but I'm going to talk about that another time. But so we have great positive changes coming ahead of us, and I want to talk about the wolves first as a little metaphor, because where we in the West still love competition and love greed, and Gordon Gekko, greed is good, and by the way, don't get me wrong. I mean, matter is great, materialism is great, money is great. The cigar costs money. Everything is, money is energy. Money is great. However, we've got it all wrong. And one great example of that is what we can learn from the wolves, because the wolves, the way they operate in a pack, is if you would ask most people who haven't seen this post, how do you think wolves, how do you think the pack goes, and mostly the men would say, oh, well, strongest, best one is up front, and society rewards that. If you look at billionaires, that's basically somebody saying, hey, I've got it going, or I'm on a roll, and society goes, okay, we'll reward you for that, but not just that, we'll make you super rich, and it's not in balance, because if this great video where you see, and I'm not against money, not at all, I'm all for it. This great video we see Jeff Bezos walking through, one of his warehouses, and there's like this teller clicking, showing what he's making per minute, and what this one of his obese, because they work in a canteen and they're fed sugar and salt and all kinds of crappy, greasy food, nothing healthy. So, they're overweight, they're in bad health, yada, yada. And what they make. And it's just not in balance, And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Jeff shouldn't be making his billions. It's fine. It's just there's a lack of balance, what I want to say. But anyway, the wolves. So we would probably say, well, the strongest, most competitive, innovative, fearsome wolf should be up front. Well, nothing is further from the truth. It's the sick and the weak who are up front, because they determine the pace. Because you cannot operate without taking the whole into consideration. And that applies for humanity, and it applies to all of us. So you can't move forward at the expense of the sick and the weak. And the problem with what I'm saying now is that a lot of people are going to think, well, okay, so you're actually encouraging socialism, or you're saying that the fast shouldn't move ahead because we should take the weak into account. No, not at all. But the point is that they have the weak and the sick up front, because they determine the pace, because they can't go any faster. Then right behind them is the young and the healthy and the vibrant, and then in the middle is the vulnerable ones, so the babies and the women, and all of that, and perhaps some elderly, and then all the way at the back is the leader, because as we all know, for you who are in management land, you lead by serving, right? That's it. It's like the Knights of the Round Table, and serving each other, we're free. So that's where it's at, dear friends. And so we can learn from the wolves. And I'm extremely optimistic because we're in an incredibly exciting period in history now. For those of you who are a little bit aware of astrology, you don't have to be interested in it, you don't have to believe in it. It's not a matter of belief. It's like saying, well, I don't believe in the sun. Well, guess what, dude? There it is. Every day, because of the sun, you exist. And so with astrology, most billionaires consider astrologers. There's not a move being made by a lot of wealthy Fortune 500 leaders who don't consult their astrologers. Always. And why? Because it works. So now Pluto, which is the ruler of the star sign Scorpio, hear the geese? If you can hear it, they're flying in formation, and they're encouraging the leader. That's why they do all the squawking. Excuse me. So shamans smoke cigars too, by the way. And my birth date is June 21, the day of the shaman. Longest day. Great day to be born on this planet. Anyway, and grateful for everything here. I hope you can still kind of follow the loops I'm making. So back to Pluto. So occasionally a planet will be what they call out of bounds. And I'm not sure of the exact explanation because I'm not an astrologer, but it has something to do with the fact that I think that the planets are not visible in the the northern hemisphere, but only in the southern, or they're, I don't know. Anyway, they're out of bounds. That's what they call it. Take my word for it. That's just what it's called. Excuse me. So that's probably a cigar. You get stains. So anyway, so when a planet is out of bounds, oh, here are the geese again. Hey guys. Don't know if you can hear this. Great sound. Anyway, the last time Pluto went out of bounds, its influence is even more powerful than normal. So Pluto is going out of bounds tomorrow, I believe, today or tomorrow. As I record this, it's the 24th, 25th of September, 2025. Excuse me 1 second, I'll just let you enjoy the view. So, I can't help with the beard feeling a little bit like Andy Garcia, he's always smoking cigars, but anyway, he has something I had 30 years ago, which is a big head of hair. Anyway, so I'm dwelling here, I'm losing track. Let me just get back on track. So, Pluto out of bounds. The last time Pluto was out of bounds was from 1938 to 1950. Now think back to 1938, 1950. What happened? World War II. Millions and tens of millions of people being slaughtered all over. Wow. Hi there. Europe, Russia, Asia. I mean, what a mess. Nuclear bomb. Rock and roll. A lot of things happened in that period, and it was such an intense period. So Pluto out of bounds is again back. So what does that mean? I don't know, but it means that the next 12 years, we can expect the same kind of dramatic changes as we had in that period. The only thing is now there's a different astrological configuration, and Pluto apparently is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is, we're entering the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is about technology, but it's also about humanity, and it's about equality, and liberté, égalité, fraternité, which was a setup, but anyway, but that credo of the French Revolution is what Aquarian energy is about. And in the 60s, you had another revival where it was like, peace and love and happiness and being in the moment and all of that. So Pluto is going to be out of bounds in Aquarius for the next 12 years or so. So, having said that, that basically means fasten your seatbelts. We've, as they would say in the Wizard of Oz or in the Matrix, we're not in Kansas anymore. Better buckle up. And it means that nothing is going to be the same ever again. And of course, we all are aware of this. If we look at AI, for instance, probably, I know about the rest of the world, but in Holland, 60% of the jobs in the next 5-10 years are going to be gone to AI. And of course, it's a worldwide trend, which leaves us with the question, so what are we humans here for? And like scary people like Yuval Harari say, we're useless eaters or hackable, hackable animals or whatever he calls it. No, we're divine, and because of the fact that we're made in God's image, if you want. It means we have a special function here, and I think that I'm not for or against technology, but I'm not in favor of a society that surrenders itself to technology. And at the moment, that's what we're doing. And so we should all think about that. And on the upside, if there's going to be a lot less work for many people, it means there's a lot of time and opportunity to do good. The shame of the West is senior citizens' homes, where the elderly are just left to rot and die, while we're spending hundreds of billions on imaginary wars or imaginary, climate issues. So let's all go and help each other. Let's do like the wolves do. Let's let the weak and the vulnerable and the sick go up front. Let's keep their pace. And that doesn't mean that we don't do what we're good at. No, sure. Even the leader, who's in the back, he's running around the pack, and scouting and thinking ahead and moving, but he's leading by example, by serving, by being humble. So that, I want to leave you with that. And wishing you a lovely evening. Take care. Oh, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That'll help the channel. Thank you so much. Best wishes.